Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the new wiki. I mean, my Final Fantasy Wave Exodus unit review for the JP version. And we have Golbez, we have Cecil, we also have Rosa. I accidentally said Roca in one of my previous videos. Sorry about that. So, what I've acquired here is Golbez. He has some killers, decent. Kind of expected at this point. For your damage deal, you have some kind of killers. 500% cap, 350% magic TDH, and that's with enhancements. Over the course of time when he had enhancements, he had some TDH already. So 350%, 150% little burst damage. He has 80 times bolting strike magic chaining. I mean, it's something to hold him over a little bit. And finally, the SLB, 125 times 50% spirit ignore, 27 to hit dark magic damage, 135% dark imperil, and also 5s per orb generation. Alright, so there doesn't seem to be really anything that I can find that's really that impressive besides his SLB, because it's 27 hits, so he can fit into a lot of teams. Depending on one factor, we'll be talking about that very shortly here. And I can't find any mod buffs besides the older ones that they already had, and they're very small. So I know he has some. I think he has something. No, that's a break. He has breaks. This doesn't seem anything that special with him, honestly. Really, okay. I looked. His S camera upgrade only gives him a break. A break, and also an undead killer buff, so none of those are mod buffs. So basically he's an SLB chainer. Now my score is going to come down to one thing here, giving him a very low score, or at least giving him a decent score, because 27 hit chaining has been kind of hit or miss in terms of there being delays or anything. So let's go find out if there's any delays going on in this chaining here. Alright, so we're only looking at 2 units here. We're looking at Emperor, who has 27 hits. Right there, yeah, at the bottom. And Golbez, 27 hits. So these things chain up perfectly, because this magic tank, Charlotte, and Emperor are the ones that don't have any delays at all. Alright, there's no delays, because he is the gold standard in terms of 27 hits. So now his score is not going to be absolute terribleness, because he can actually chain with other 27 hitters that don't have any delays, like Titus, Lulu, Vaughn, for example, and also yeah, I think it's either Reagan or Heinkel. Units are coming into the global soon, so that's definitely helping out the score quite a bit. Let's get back into the review slide. Originally, if I thought there was going to be some kind of delay, it was going to get like a 7, because his SLB is useful for chaining purposes. He has nothing else going for him that I could find. So I'm going to go ahead and give him a 7.5 because his chaining is on point. His SLB is not worthless. There's no delays. We just proved it. So I'm going to go ahead and give him a 7.5. I know that's kind of... He's serviceable. He has 250 times... Basically 250 times mod SLB. It's not too bad. Not too bad. So 7.5. Let's get into the guy that everybody wants to know about. We have Cecil here, CG Cecil, and so he has infinite turns. Oh, also, by the way, we're looking at a CG in-game, the in-game quality of his CG, not just on some video. So if you want to know about that, stay tuned. Anyways, base form, he has a 50 times mod buff for his LB on a cooldown. Seems kind of weak, but I mean, it is what it is. 75%, by the way, he has this on both forms. There was just so much to write that I could barely even fit everything in. So on both sides, he has 75% magic mitigation, also 100% fire, ice, lightning, and light resistance on a cooldown. And that's for all allies. On a normal ability, just an ability, he has 100% water, wind, earth, and 20% dark resist for all allies, but it's 500 MP cost. That's quite high. He has some killers, 300% TDH, 500% cap, 200% little burst damage, pretty standard. His LB, 35% greatsword imperil. We haven't seen that very much lately. Very nice. 135% dark imperil, Not that great, but it is what it is. 100 times 50% defense ignore. Keep in mind we also have a 50 times mod buff, so actually it's 150 times with 50% defense ignore. 3 hits, so it's kind of like a finisher. And 200 times mod buff for darkness. Keep in mind he also has some other mod buffs for darkness as well, so technically I believe that the real strength is his darkness move. So there's that. In his Brave Shift form, he's a magic cover tank. He has the same thing we just talked about, this cooldown. He has an Omni cover for one ally, I'm assuming, because this is JP not global, where they make Chow and have all that silly stuff. 150 times mod buff for his LB. And the LB is 87% attack and magic break, 200% undead killer buff for himself, sadly. 230 times light physical damage, 24 hits, 75% general mitigation. And here's the good part. Well, 75% general mitigation is pretty good, but here's 80% undead and machine mitigation. That's really good. That's pretty high. That's 2 things. That's 2 things. That's pretty good. Gotta say, that's pretty good. So there's a few other things that he has, but not really worth mentioning. Like he has all the usual things like a damage dealer would have, but he's a tank, so you don't really care too much about that too much. And we'll be talking about his LB here shortly. So he has AMOE chaining on both forms. I'm not really sure why that is. No one really uses AMOE chaining. It's almost always bolting strike now. So AMOE chaining, a hit. It's kind of a miss on that one. And he has some weird hit counts. The three is kind of explainable because it could be like a 3-hit finisher, but the 24 hits hasn't been a thing since Neovision Lastwell and like Dorgan and Lena, for example. So not really seeing why 24 hits is a thing, because it's basically triple casting AMOE chaining. AMOE chaining has not been a thing for a very long time. So that's not really going to impact his score, because honestly I don't think he's a big damage dealer. I think he's more of a supporting finisher. He can be a secondary finisher, kind of like how Graf was, because he's not going to be dealing a whole lot of damage. He will tank pretty well. He has some innate resistances. I saw he had 30% all resistances in his Brave Shift form, and also an additional bit of light and dark resistance in his Brave Shift form, so that's pretty good. That will help out a lot against certain challenges. In terms of being a damage dealer, he just seems okay compared to what we've been getting, because it's been going downhill since Balthier. The power creep has been going crazy since Balthier, and especially since Tidus came out. It's been going wham in terms of damage dealer speed. So Cecil, in terms of mods and damage and everything, seems like he came out like last year, but he's coming out now, if you get what I mean. So he's pretty good in terms of being a tank. In terms of being damage dealer, I think they missed the mark. The darkness thing is interesting, but it takes a long time to rev up. But we'll see what happens. Maybe he's a strong damage dealer after all, and you come back and say, haha, you're an idiot, look at this video here, you know, something like that. But in the end, I'm gonna go ahead and give him an 8.5. Very good tank, just a slightly mediocre damage dealer at best currently. Need to find out more about the darkness thing, but I think that he's just fine. He's not amazing, he's not bad, just fine. And if you're okay with that, because I know there's a lot of CG Cecil simps in my comment section, yeah, I think it's fine to pull. I think it's fine to pull. So let's move on to Rosa, Neovision Rosa, with a pretty fine STMR, 75% Dragon Killer, 2-minute bow, pretty good. 90% all resist cooldown, also the 24 hit thing again. 24 hit, 210 times mod. That's the only reason why I mentioned it, because it's pretty decent for a support healer type unit to have that kind of a modifier. And 200 MP, 10 LB crystal fill, and also some healing on an ability. Decent. 250% dragon and undead killer for one ally, so you single target that. And she has dual cast, so you can like cast that to 2 people. She has basic healing stuff like raise and re-raise and things like that. The SLB, 160% Undead Killer and also Dragon Killer, 300% stat buff, attack and magic buff, 300% LB damage buff, and also stat break resist, which was quite nice. She also has 160% Beast Killer for all allies on a cooldown, but it's EX3. So she has AoE chaining. I guess it's just I don't know. I don't get it. Bolting Strike is so much easier to chain with now. Like Bolting Strike is like the chaining that we don't need anything else. Like the starter spray and the AoEs and all the other stuff, they can go hide away somewhere because we don't want them anymore. We want Bolting Strike. Bolting Strike is super easy to chain with, and I don't think that can be disagreed with really. Copy and paste basically from Ihana from one of my previous reviews recently, and also Imotao will be coming to global soon. And I couldn't find this, that's why there's a question mark here, but people in my Discord said that she has it. I couldn't find it in her list of skills or abilities, but supposedly she has triple cast, but it's locked to EX3, which would make it a lot better to being able to triple cast 3 allies instead of 2 at 250% Dragon or Undead Killer buff. So just think of this for Dark Visions, for example. You could put this on your chainers and finisher, or 2 finishers and 1 chainer, or all 3 of your finishers instead of just 2. So I'm gonna give her 8, just an 8. She's good, pretty good as a support unit, but nothing, oh my god, she has something that's super insane kind of a thing. Because if you're coming into this as a global player and you have never seen like 250% killer buffs before, like I just mentioned, there's 2 people who have 250% killer buffs. Also, actually 3 people. Ashe has them as well, although they're a little more restricted because they're on cooldowns. So I don't really counter that much, but it's not insanely crazy. It's still good. 250% killer is very good, but she doesn't really have anything that, other than there's a few things here and there, like the Beast Killer buff, pretty unique, but it's the Octi X3, so you gotta pull a lot. So I think 8 is fair. She's not, winning awards, but she's gonna get the job done with whatever you bring her to. So with that being said, guys, I forgot to show you guys the CG Cecil animation. Let's get into that. Alright, here it is, guys, the in-game quality, not just in some stream video thing that has a little kind of lower quality. So here's a high quality visual. It is so good. Honestly, if I could rank CGs, if I could rank CG animations, this is like top 5. Maybe even top 3. I wouldn't say number 1, but I would say top 5, top 3, easy. Like top 5 is like, I don't even have to think about it. Top 3, now I gotta start thinking a little bit about it. But, oh wow, that animation's quite good as well. This is definitely like top 5 CG animation of all time. And there's a lot of CGs to pick through. But, oh my god, maybe I'm just too easily impressed, but like the thing with the eye, like that's just so, that gets me, that part gets me. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about a CG in the quality that it's in now. You can see actually that this is the in-game quality. And it's just, it's so good. It's so good. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all my scores. Am I wrong about something? Yeah, let me if you just want to say hi, just say hi in the comments. That's fine too. Appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.